A daughter was ill in the house. They had already tried every possible remedy, but without effect. Would he be kind enough to ask old Griffin what would cure her? Jack said he would do it with pleasure, and went on again. He arrived at a lake, and instead of a ferry boat there was a big man who had to carry everybody over. The man asked him where he was bound for. "To the old Griffin," said Jack. "When you get to him," said the man, "just ask him why I am obliged to carry everybody over the water." "Yes, to be sure," said Jack. "Goodness gracious, yes, willingly." The man then took him up on his shoulder and carried him over. At last Jack arrived at the old Griffin's house, and only found the wife at home, not old Griffin. The woman asked him what he wanted, so he told her he must have a feather from old Griffin's tail, and that in a castle they had lost the key to the money chest, and he was to ask the Griffin where it was. And then, in another castle, the daughter was ill, and he was to know what would make her well again. Then not far from there were the water and the man who was obliged to carry everybody over, and he should very much like to know why the man was obliged to carry everybody over. "But," said the woman, "look you, my good friend, no Christian can speak with a griffin. He eats them all up. But, if you like, you can lie there under his bed, and at night, when he is fast asleep, you can reach up and pull a feather out of his tail. And as to those things that you want to know, I will ask him myself." Jack was quite satisfied with the arrangement, and got under the bed. In the evening old Griffin came home, and when he stepped into the room he said, "Wife, I smell a Christian." "Yes," said the wife, "there has been one here to-day, but he went away again." So old Griffin said no more. In the middle of the night, when Griffin was snoring away lustily, Jack reached up and pulled a feather out of his tail. The Griffin jumped up suddenly and cried, "Wife, I smell a Christian, and it was just as if some one had been plucking at my tail." The wife said, "You have no doubt been dreaming. I have told you already that one has been here to-day, but that he went away again. He told me all sorts of things. That in one castle they had lost the key of the money chest and could not find it." "Oh, the fools!" exclaimed the Griffin. "The key lies in the woodshed behind the door under a log of wood." And further he said that in another castle the daughter is ill, and they knew no means to cure her. "Oh, the fools!" said the Griffin. "Under the cellar stairs a toad has made its nest of her hair, and if she got the hair back again she would be well." And then again he said at a certain place there was a lake, and a man who was obliged to carry everybody over. "Oh, the fool!" said the old Griffin. "If he were only to put somebody in the middle, he need not carry any more over." Early next morning the old Griffin got up and went out, and Jack crept from under the bed with a beautiful feather, having heard what the Griffin had said about the key, the daughter, and the man. The wife repeated it all to him so that he should not forget, and then he started off toward home. He came to the man at the water first, and he asked him directly what the Griffin had said. But Jack said he must carry him over first, and then he would tell him. So he carried him over, and when they got there Jack told him he had only to put somebody in the middle, and then he need carry no more. The man was delighted beyond measure, and told Jack that out of gratitude he should like to carry him over and back once more. But Jack said nay, he would save him the trouble. He was quite contented with him already, and then went on. Next he arrived at the castle where the daughter was ill. He took her on his shoulder, for she was not able to walk, and carried her down the cellar stairs, and then took the toad's nest from under the bottom step and put it into the daughter's hand, and all at once she jumped off his shoulder, up the stairs before him, strong and well. Now the father and mother were delighted indeed, and made Jack presents of gold and silver, and whatever he wanted they gave him. When Jack arrived at the other castle he went straight to the woodshed, and found the key right behind the door under the log of wood, and took it to the master. He was not a little pleased, and gave Jack in return a great deal of gold there was in the box, and all sorts of things besides, such as cows and sheep and goats. When Jack returned to the King with all these things, With the money and gold and silver and the cows, sheep, and goats, the King asked him how he had come by it all. So Jack said the old Griffin would give one as much as one liked. The King thought he could find a use for that kind of gifts himself, and so started off to the Griffin. But when he got to the water he happened to be the first who had crossed over since Jack, and the man put him in the middle of the stream and walked off, and the King was drowned. So Jack married the King's daughter and became king. End of the Old Griffin.